My entire career in coffee has been spent in the specialty side of things, a world where everything has become defined and codified. If you don't have this subway tile or that geisha or do that light roasted coffee, then you must not be specialty. Honestly, it's quite boring. So whenever I travel, I like to seek out whatever is not specialty, because a light roasted geisha from a shop in Tokyo isn't materially different than that same light roasted geisha in Chicago. Like I said, boring. Which is what has brought me here to the outskirts of Klang, where after 20 years in the coffee business, I have no idea what I'm looking at.
I said you cannot handle the heat.
It's true.
Turn left, then turn left.
So how? We stop here or we go to? Because he just ate,
Then right.
This language we're talking about is Malay.
Malay, okay.
Of course, Pru's Malay is a bit Chinese-y.
Snap you, I tell you.
No idea where
Tell
it is.
him.
This is the deep Malaysia.
Off the beaten
How
path.
you go?
Man, it's not even on the map anymore, man.
When I started planning this trip, I reached out to my old friend Chan, who introduced me to his friend Prudence, who arranges food and culture tours across Malaysia. It was Pru who thought we should visit this old school roastery called Chuan Hoe. Opened in 1959, this place has been roasting coffee for 62 years. In Malaysia, there are the nice specialty coffee shops that you're probably used to. This is not one of those places. Oh, now I can smell the coffee. It's a darker roaster. You can hear the roaster running. Exciting, exciting. Chuan Hoe supplies places known as Kopitiam, a type of coffee shop now indigenous to this region that combines Malay and Chinese cultures. When considering the existence of coffee, Kopitiams are a relatively new creation that started in the early 20th century when Malaysia was still under British rule. The Brits introduced coffee to the peninsula, and Hokkien immigrants created these shops in the form of the traditional Chinese tea houses they left behind, while incorporating local flavors and ingredients to offer simple and affordable food and drinks to a working class population. These kopitiams form the basis for coffee culture not only in Malaysia, but in Singapore and Indonesia, as well as Brunei and in southern Thailand. My journey in coffee seems to go in waves. Just when I feel as though I'm starting to get a grasp on everything coffee, something comes along to show me that I know nothing and that there's still much to learn. That's how I feel here at Chuan Hoe. Some things look familiar, but a lot of it is just new and confounding. Take this guy, for example. He's 63 years old and has been working here since he was 18. His work shirt says William, but for some reason, I don't think that's his name. His name is Tan Loon Chuan, and he's the pengusaha kilang of Chuan Hoe, who tends to each batch of coffee that the factory produces. He's warm and friendly, but when I look into his eyes, I see something. He's got that twinkle of someone who, after decades of making coffee, still loves what he does. We have arrived in the early afternoon, which is late in the day at the coffee roasting factory. The roasting is done for the day and we've missed out. However, Tan is more than happy to take us on a tour and load up the roaster to illustrate what they do. It all starts with the coffee. Chuan Hoe offers different grades of coffee to meet the needs of their clientele. Some of their customers cater to a more general, working-class audience, meaning they're more cost-conscious. For them, they offer budget-friendly coffees that can be mixed with grains, such as wheat berries, in ratios of up to 97%. For example, the most affordable is the Sedanwangi branded coffee, which sells for 12 ringgit per 800 grams, while the highest grade goes for 42 ringgit per kilo. The roaster will hold up to 20 kilos of coffee. Tan Loon roasts each batch personally while adding wood to control the time and temperature of the roast. The wood comes from different sources ranging from forested trees to leftover construction material. If it's wood, they'll burn it. As you watch Tan Loon, one thing you notice is that there are no measurements. Everything is done by feel. It's the hallmark of a true master. While the end result will be a very dark-looking coffee, the beans are actually roasted to a chestnut color, similar to what we might consider a full city or full city plus roast in the West. To make the finished product, the beans go through several stages: roasting, frying, blending, and grinding. It is this next stage that defines the Nanyang Style of Coffee native to Kopitiams. On the other side of the factory floor are what looks like two large woks with motorized stirrers. As the coffee is roasting, a worker heats the sugar and margarine in the wok. Adding the hot coffee to the sauce nearly instantly causes it to darken and turn to a violent black. This frying both sweetens and adds aromatics to the coffee. The concoction bubbles angrily for a few moments, and then the mix is ladled out into a stainless steel trough to cool. The pile hardens into what looks like glassy lava. This is the stage when I first saw this coffee and I didn't understand what I was looking at. It's like asphalt. At first I thought it might have been some sort of tar-like byproduct. It was really shocking. Once cooled, the workers break up this asphalt-looking coffee into large chunks that are placed in machines that break down the chunks into black caramel-coated coffee beans, which are then placed in industrial grinders to grind the coffee into the fine powder used for brewing.
This is really something else.
In the world of Nanyang coffee, Chuan Hoe is considered a small factory. On an average day, Tan Loon and his crew will roast about 2,000 kilos of coffee. It's brutal work. Both the roaster and two woks are wood-fired. Add the inferno of the caramelized coffee, as well as the relentless Malaysian heat and humidity with no air conditioning. I don't know how they do it, but on days like today, the heat is so intense that they've already stopped working instead of continuing into the late afternoon. At 63, Tan Loon is not that much older than myself, but I can't help but wonder about succession. What happens to these family-run businesses as the owners get older? Tan Loon is the third generation after his grandfather started the business 64 years ago. He took over the business from his father when he was 18 and has been running the company for 47 years. Turns out there will be a fourth generation as Tan Loon's son has been learning the business and helping to push it towards new trends. It may not seem like it, but Chuan Hoe is actually one of the biggest importers and wholesalers of green coffee in Malaysia, selling the range from commercial grades of coffee to the fancy specialty coffees we're more familiar with. We spent a good amount of time at Chuan Hoe, but I wish we could have gotten there early in the morning to really see the roasting and frying processes. If you're interested in how deep we went there, I'm going to upload a more raw and less edited video that lets you experience our visit in pretty much the same we did. Be sure to subscribe so you'll know when it comes out. I think it's important to visit and learn about places like Chuan Hoe. It's too easy to fall into the trap that the little sector of the industry I work in is the be-all and end-all of coffee. That because we work with what is considered the highest end of the market, that the rest isn't worth consideration. It's rubbish, and it's visits like this that remind me that all of what we do today came from something else. That we are only building upon what places like Chuan Hoe have built before us.
Please look at that.
So I encourage you to seek out coffee outside the specialty sphere. There's so much to learn, experience, and appreciate about other styles of coffee that will broaden your knowledge base and give you a deeper understanding of the coffees you do enjoy. There's still more to come from our tour of Malaysian Kopitiams, so I hope you'll join us again soon.
So where are we going, Pru?
We are going to another Kopitiam.
Okay.
It has the history as well, long history as well.